How are we all doing today's stream on this fine evening? Hi, hello, and a welcome. And yes, I said evening because it is late at night for me. We're looking at 11 p.m. CST. I am CST. You guys may be different. So, could be morning, could be afternoon, could be midday. Who knows? But yeah, so I was planning on streaming today, earlier today, around 5 or 6 Central Standard Time, and we were going to basically run through our dailies, our weeklies, Gacha Monday, super fun. And we were going to react to the Cipher trailer once all was said and done. Well, I had a brain fart moment because I had to wake up today quite early because work started today quite early, and so I just started doing my dailies and my weeklies in the morning like no one's business. Just completely forgot that I was saving them for the afternoon. And well, unfortunately, didn't really have that much content. And then when I realized it was a bit too late, I was like, well, damn, I don't think I can stream today. Maybe I'll stream tomorrow and we'll figure something out, right? But then I took a nap and woke up and I was like, well, feel pretty good. And then went to my computer, went to my office, my wonderful office space, and just started feeling a little bit bored. And I thought, well, why not do it today still? And so that's what we're doing. So we're just gonna chill here for a bit. We're gonna chat. We'll react to the Cipher trailer. We'll talk about the trailer. We'll chill a little bit more, chat a little bit more, and that'll be it. I'm expecting this to be really short, probably the shortest stream that we've ever done, like 20 to 30 minutes. Really, this should be like a YouTube video, right? But I don't want to do YouTube videos, at least not yet, because that requires me to edit and put a little bit more time into the video than it takes to just click start streaming. And don't get me wrong, getting prepared to start a stream does take a decent amount of time. Especially if you stream to YouTube and not just Twitch. If you stream to Twitch, doesn't take too much time. You think up your stream title. You're like, okay, this is happy. You kind of check to make sure that your audio is good. You kind of run through everything really quickly, and then that's kind of it. And then you click, refresh on your stream, and then you stream to Twitch. YouTube, it's a bit different. Obviously you run through the same preparations, but you also have to put together a thumbnail. Well, you don't have to put together a thumbnail, but if you're trying to create good content, you put together a thumbnail. So you put together a thumbnail. You can use the same stream title, but I don't like to use the same stream title as what I have on Twitch. They're almost always the same thing though. And so you do that, and then there's a couple of extra settings that you have to do, and then you also have to pre-plan the stream or pre-schedule the stream. I think there's a way where you can start streaming to YouTube where you don't have to pre-schedule a stream, but you're gonna lose your title, you're gonna lose everything. It's not gonna be good. So basically, you go to YouTube, you schedule a stream, you fill out the required fields, you put in your thumbnail, your title, your description, and then you hit upload stream, and then your stream is basically there, ready and waiting for you to go live in OBS or any other streaming software that one would use. But OBS is, I think, by far and away the best streaming software and the platform that I think everyone should be using if you're a streamer. It's a bit intimidating at first if you've never streamed before and you want to stream and you kind of download OBS and you open it up, you're just like, whoa, what is this? But it's actually not that difficult to get used to. I think the worst thing with OBS is outside of like the core things that you need to know to start streaming. There's a lot of extra functionality that if you don't go looking for, or start learning about like on your own, you're not gonna realize it's there. And I'm a big proponent. I'm a part of that problem. I, for the most part, have just the basic core OBS knowledge needed to hit stream. But there's a couple of things that I had to learn to in OBS that were special in order to do what I wanted to do with streaming. And I realized that, hey, this is really cool. This is good, valuable, powerful functionality, and I feel like a lot of people don't know about it. So, but well, but yeah. So we're just gonna chill. We're gonna talk about trailer, obviously, once we go to react to it. And I think this is the only trailer. Hold on. Because I actually haven't checked the Star Rail YouTube in a while. So yeah, this is the only trailer. And usually, so Star Rail is weird with its trailers, right? Well, not weird with the trailers. Here's how Star Rail trailers are usually structured, right? A character is guaranteed to have what typically in the title of the actual trailer or YouTube video is just character trailer. It just says, Cipher character trailer. It says highest character trailer. Those are the just two most recent characters, for example. But for every single character, it's their name and then just the word trailer. People often call those character trailers. As the the kind of like the classification that they go under. But I also hear the other term character demo used a couple of times. And so just know that those are mostly synonymous. Character trailer or character demo or just demo trailer. Those usually are referring to the same thing. And every character in Star Rail is guaranteed to have at least that trailer, at least that one singular trailer. But sometimes for more popular characters or for more story or lore relevant characters, right? A character will get additional trailers on top of their character demo or character trailer. And these are typically, they can come in two different forms. There's what we call a Myriad Celestia trailer. A Myriad Celestia trailer is not necessarily focused on a character. It can be focused on just the kind of larger Star Rail lore, but typically it's focused on the character. And what a Myriad Celestia trailer is, as opposed to a character demo, or is more more lore focused, more kind of giving the audience details on that said character's maybe like a backstory or a flashback or sometimes a flash forward, or maybe they have other characters come in for that, for the titular character to kind of have a dynamic with, and they're typically more abstract as well. I really like Myriad Celestia trailers for that reason, because you guys know I'm a lore junkie. Well, I say I'm a lore junkie, but I really haven't been doing my homework recently. I did my homework back when the game first came out. I like read stuff and I went I went deep into the lore. Nowadays, I'm just like, all right, I just take what the main story gives me, and then I do a little bit of research on the side. But especially with Amphorius, because Amphorius has a ton of lore just fragmented in different places. So maybe I need to start watching a lore YouTube channel. But so that's a Myriad Celestia trailer, and oftentimes that's like the next level of trailer that a character can receive. So every character is guaranteed to have their character trailer or character demo, whatever you want to call it. I typically call it a character demo trailer. So every character has that. Then after that, if a character is popular enough or maybe story relevant enough, there's a chance they get a Myriad Celestia trailer. These Myriad Celestia trailers typically come out before the character demo. The character demo is usually the last trailer to come out before a character releases. But then there's another level of trailer where if you're really popular or really hyped up, or maybe like you're super story relevant, you get an animated short. And the animated short is just basically the Honkai Star Rail team saying, hey, we're full creative freedom, right? We're going to have full creative freedom with this. We're going to bring in our animation team and we're just going to create this just visual jaw dropping masterpiece typically, and it's good. We can focus on whatever we want, but it's gonna rile you up. It's gonna get your emotions going. It'll make you sad. You'll be crying. You'll be depressed, or maybe you'll be like hype as fuck. Maybe you'll be cheering. Maybe you're like super engrossed in the lore of it. You're focused on what's happening on screen. Maybe all three, right? Animated shorts are animated shorts. They're the best trailer, the premium production trailer they're typically reserved for, the very, very highest tier of character in Star Rail. So think, right? Let's run through all the animated shorts that we have so far. Well, not all of them, because sometimes they have like these less sometimes they have these like less dedicated animated shorts where they're still they're still created and produced by the Honkai Star Rail animation team, but they're not as long, or they're not as serious, or they're not as whatever. Um, the animated shorts that I'm referring to are kind of like the longer, more dedicated story focused trailer. Very more reminiscent of like the Honkai Impact the Third, animated shorts. So if you think about the ones that we have, right, we have off the top of my head, and I'm sorry if I forget one. We have the very first one was the Flash, which was a animated short that was focused on Jing Yuan and Jing Liu, and it was kind of like this duel between the two of them, where at the end, Jing Yuan strikes down Jing Liu using the Thunderlord, and the music is amazing, right? The animation is gorgeous, and interweaved between the fights, you get Jing Yuan kind of flashing back to his relationship with his master, his journey through becoming a general, going through the Cloud Knights, learning from Jing Liu, and then at the final bit of the trailer, he hardens his resolve, Thunderlord, bada bing, bada boom, strikes down Jing Liu, and then it's all really emotional and all super well done. And then you kind of get this like little scene at the end that's really nice, a nice little way to tie up the trailer where Jing Yuan and Yan Qing, name escaped me there, are kind of like training in the current day time, and you can kind of see Jing Yuan kind of feel a bit nostalgic, and as he reminisces about that happened. And then you've got after that's the very first animated short, the Flash, and after the Flash, you've got what I believe to be, I have the Star Rail YouTube pull up. Let me just go see if there's a playlist. Yeah, they have a playlist here. So it looks like they consider like pretty much anything that their animation team does, they consider that to be an animated short. But after a Flash, you've got the Icar of the True Dragons, which is imbibed of Lune or Dan Heng, another significant character, right? Jing Yuan and Jing Liu, at the time of release, probably the most important and the most hyped Xianzhou characters, and they're still pretty popular. And Dan Heng, obviously, insanely popular. Dan Heng is arguably probably the most popular male character in the game, and his animated short is again another 5 to 6 minutes of just gorgeous animation where he is confronting his past. He is kind of coming to terms with what his past, how his past has influenced him, and how he's going to kind of accept it, move forward with his new life as a member of the Astral Express, and ultimately he overcomes this kind of like he overcomes this I don't hold up on the past. That's not the right word, but he does it visually because he's kind of have this. He's having this mental duel with his previous incarnation, Don Funk, and then at the end, again, they have this nice little scene where Welt, the Trailblazer, and March come up with them after he's finished having this mental duel. After he's kind of accepted his past and decided to move forward, taking on a new path. And again, very beautiful stuff. Animation is gorgeous, great. Then you've got the name is strange. Here, hold on. Let me go back. Rondo Across the Countless Kappas. This was the very first animated short that we got in Penacony, which is again is focused on Akron, and Akron is the Raiden May XP, right? She was the very first anniversary character. She's the Raiden May XP, and she was again extremely important in the Penacony story. Probably the second most important character in Penacony besides you know who. And it again, gorgeous animation. This time it's not necessarily focused, I think, on Akron as a character, because the animated short is not just focused on Akron, but it's also focused on Black Swan. And it's obviously a lot of people like the animated short because of the Yuri And look, bro, I love me some good Yuri, and I was fed well there. But that one's not necessarily focused on Acheron's character because she's less of a dynamic character, more of this static character. Well, she's also a dynamic character as well. She has a lot of character depth, but it's more lore focused, right? It's more plot focused. It's more adding mystery to the Penacony story, you know. And again, gorgeous animation, very symbolic, very abstract, and sets up the Penacony story nicely. And then the next one that we get after that is, you know, my personal favorite, but I'm sure that doesn't come as a surprise to anyone, which is the Firefly animated short, The Embers of Glamoth. Many of you guys know Firefly is my favorite character in Star Rail. She's one of my favorite characters ever. You guys know what? Hold on. Well, before I get out of my chair, I've shown this on stream a few times. I have this custom made, well, not custom made, it's not custom made, but I have a resin statue of Sam, you know, Firefly's suit, and very large, super cool figure. I've shown it on stream a few times. I don't know on which streams if you guys want to go see it, but it's out there, right? So I've had that resin statue for a bit now, but I got this the other day, and this is the main one that I've been looking for. I'm gonna try to get it off my bookshelves. I'm gonna be back here in 30 seconds, a minute. I'm gonna try to put it on my desk. If it doesn't work, maybe I'll try to carry it. But it's something, and you'll see. So give me just a bit. Give me just a bit. Holy shit! I am nervous. This was way too expensive for me to just handle. So, ah! You know what? I think that's good. I think that's good. Is it in camera? Holy, okay. I'm gonna push it back just a little bit. There we go. So my point illustrated, right? I love Firefly. Firefly is one of my favorite video game characters ever. One of my favorite characters ever. Just period, point blank. And I got this figure the other day. There's only 80, I believe, of these in the world, but it's a resin statue figure. Um, I forget who makes it, but this was for the longest time before we got the announcement of the official Firefly figure that is going to come out eventually. I don't think we have a visual of what it looks like yet. But in my opinion, this was the best Firefly statue slash figure that was out there for the longest time. And me being the Firefly fan that I am, I bought it. And it finally arrived over the weekend. So it's here. I'm really happy. It is very high quality. It's fucking huge. It looks even bigger than what it looks like on stream. But my point illustrated, right? I love Firefly, and so my bias here is obviously going to be evident. But the Firefly animated short, again, Firefly, you know, is the main character of Penacony. You know, every arc has a main character. For example, Amphorius is Phynon, right? Um, and the Xianzhou, the very first Xianzhou was Don Hung. Belobog was Bronya, right? And Penacony is Firefly. And so obviously, even if she wasn't, you know, the main character, Firefly is arguably the most popular character in the game, right? It's like between her, Kafka, Don Hung, you know, she's right up there. And her animated short, once again, 5 to 6 minutes of just gorgeous animation. It's a full flashback to, you know, the war with the swarm on Glamoth. And you get to see the tragedy of it all, and it is just super well done. You know, kind of showing what she went through, how she ended up, you know, where she is today, and amazing stuff, right? And then after the Embers of Glamoth, you start to get a little bit more of the shorter, not as deeply invested animated shorts, right? You've got one with Jade, you've got one with with Jiao Cho. You get a pretty decently long one with Fei Xiao. But I think the next one that is, really heavy hitting, like where you can tell that, yeah, this is it, an animated short, is the most recent one that we got, which is, of course, Castoris's. And again, not a surprise. Castris was the anniversary character for the second year. She was the second anniversary character that we've gotten. The animated short is the Long Night of Serenity. It's the first animated short that we've gotten out of like the big ones, right? We've gotten the Flash, Icar the True Dragons, Rondo, Fireflies, and then Cast Races. So really five, like really kind of premium animated shorts. Cast Races is the first that isn't necessarily action focused. I don't think there's much action in Cast Races at all, really, but it's really more focused on her backstory and kind of seeing what she went through when she was just a child and as she grew up, and it's really tough to watch. It will tug at your heartstrings. It had made me cry. Well, all the animated shorts I think made me cry in different ways. But Castris is really kind of just, it stabs a knife into your heart and just digs it further and then tosses salt on the wound. It is sad. And so you see what I mean? Like the animated shorts, Castris, Firefly, uh, Akron, and Black Swan, Don Hung, Jing Yuan, and Jing Liu, right? They're pretty much reserved for the best of the best. And so that's the final level of trailer that you can get. And there's a few times where they do like other just like specialized trailers. Like Robin obviously gets her music videos in the same similar vein. Robin and Sunday, not Robin and Sunday, but a few characters, get the trailers where for the symphony, the Honkai Star Rail concert. I think Cash Trace also got a couple. She got like this cooking trailer with the rest of the Cryos airs, right? There are other like one-off special trailers that they'll do, but typically this is how it goes. You have your character demo or your character trailer again. That every character is guaranteed to have one of those. Those typically come out last. Then you've got your Myriad Celestia. That's like kind of like the second most important trailer. Those will come out. Those usually actually typically come out first. If you're a hype character and you're gonna get all three levels of trailers, it typically goes Myriad Celestia comes out first, then your animated short, and then your character demo. So character demo, everyone is guaranteed to get one, comes out last. Myriad Celestia usually comes out first, more lore focused, um yeah. And then the last level is your animated short reserved for the specialty of characters that usually comes out in the middle, and few characters get a truly dedicated animated short. Like I said, there are animated shorts that come out for characters that sometimes are a bit shorter, not as dedicated and as premium production value as the ones that are longer. So keep that in mind. So why did I go through this whole thing? Well, I was wondering whether or not I wanted to react to Cipher's trailer today, because she comes out Wednesday, right? And I wasn't sure that, okay, if I react to Cipher's trailer today, because Cipher's trailer came out, I think, on Friday, so it's been a couple of days. So I was like, maybe there's another trailer on the horizon, right? Maybe we're still waiting for a trailer for her. But the trailer that did come out for Cipher, unfortunately, because it means it's going to be probably the only one, is her character demo. So, like I said, the character demos usually come out last, and so if they do decide to do another trailer for Cipher, like a Myriad Celestia or an animated short or who knows what, right? If they decide to do another trailer for Cipher, they're gonna break their conventional pattern, right? And so I I've done my best to kind of like anticipate what to expect for Cipher the next coming days. So I think we could react to Cipher's trailer today on stream, and I think we're gonna be able to capture everything. I don't think there's gonna be another one that comes out, which does make me a bit sad because I want characters to have as many trailers as they can because I love the trailers. But okay, I'm gonna put this back because it makes me incredibly nervous having something as fragile, expensive, and scarce as this just sitting on my work laptop. So I'm gonna put it back, and when I sit back down, we're gonna react to the trailer. Just a moment, guys. Come on, Firefly. Okay. All right, I can rest easy now. But okay, let's go ahead and switch to our watching video overlay, and we'll react to the Cipher trailer. And you know what? I'm just gonna do this on the same window on Chrome that I have my streaming set up on. So yeah, if you guys didn't know, every time I stream, each time that I'm live, I have this window open in case something goes wrong with my stream. And this is what I was looking at earlier to reference. So these are kind of like these shorter animated shorts, right? You've got one for Herda where she's cooking. You've got one for Rappa, which has some more unique animation. This is the one I was talking about with Fei Xiao. This one kind of falls in the middle. It's 3.5 minutes, but it's more lighthearted than anything. Then for Zhao Cho, there's Jade, and then there's one for this is the animated short that I was talking about for the concert. Here's one for Aventurine. Yada yada yada, right? But then you've got your long ones, right? Flash, Icar the True Dragons, Rondo Across Countless Kappas. This one right here. This is more of a just general Star Rail trailer. We also have one. We had something similar for the 2-year anniversary. Then you've got Fireflies, Ember of Gulmoth, and then Casterus's Long Mat Serenity. But alas, we are here. We have stalled long enough. We are here for this trailer right here. I have heard from many people, some of my friends, that this trailer is actually really fun. So I'm pretty excited. Let's put it at 20%. Make sure closed captions are on. And here we go.
The active criminal has been arrested. Should be charged with breaking and entering, theft, and property damage. Take her away.
What did she do? Well, we know what she did. Many things. Already in the trailer, she is very much. She's sexy and she knows it. Oh my god. That was perfect timing. You specifically. Hold on. Sorry, guys. What? Why am I at 720? Excuse me. Let's watch that back at HD. And also so I can see that pose again. Oh, yes. Star Rail knows what we want. Ooh. This OST. She was capable of this. Well, was that the Star Rail inventory? Oh, hello. Hey, oh, that smile. Okay, again, nice angle. God, I love her voice actors so much. It's so good. Oh, Jesus Christ. Wait, what? Wait, we're going to... Hi, Ratio. Oh my god. That is a Star Rail inventory. Wait, no, don't take my stuff. I like the ending card. That was really funny. Oh, she takes her...
bigger bag next time. Too bad.
Oh. Oh my god, that's amazing. Oh. Well, anytime I see Mighty, I'm excited. And Aglaya. Amazing trailer. Yeah, that was great. That was a great trailer. That was hype. I think they really leaned into everything that makes Cipher so likable, right? The sexiness, the voice acting, um, you know, how much of a gremlin she is. Um, but also there's a couple of stuff there that was really extra unique as well, like her running through all of the kind of previous worlds that we've been to in Star Rail. I mean, we can watch it back.
The active criminal has been arrested. She'll be charged with breaking and entering, theft, and
Yes,
property
Cipher is, a lot of people have rightfully, including myself, simmed for her. She is a very kind of unique kind of sexy that I like. You typically within Hoyoverse games, like the sexy characters, right? They're not really represented the way Cipher is. She's more alluring rather than just hot, right? She is hot, but she uses it, you know, to her advantage. You can see it in the way she poses and everything.
Thank you.
I like the inventory, like the Star Rail inventory that we see a couple of times.
This.
That smile. It was that damn smile. Yet, my point illustrated perfect with the angles. So here's where I really want to pause. So she uses her power. And we can kind of go frame by frame here. So there's Clocky. So she runs through Penacony. Nice. And then anyone else? Oh, hi Sparkle. How's it going? Good to see it. Then she runs through the Xianzhou. There's Jingyan and Fei Xiao. There's Bellabog. Who do we recognize here? So there's Japard, obviously. I think that's Natasha. Serval, and I don't know who that is. No, that's not Serval. That is not Serval. I don't know what I was thinking. But that is, I'm pretty sure that is Natasha and Japard down here. And then probably the best part of the trailer. You're excused. Where it's Ratio's just in his bathtub reading what is a giant book. What happens here?
Pardon me.
So were you actually in your bathtub, my boy? Hold on. So she steals the bathtub. No, he's sitting in the bathtub. So how does he start? Okay, I'm not gonna question it. And that's her to space station, I think, at the end there. And this is interesting, actually. So there's like the inventory. So this is like, is this the entrance to Amphorius, maybe? You guys think? Because that looks like the vortex of Genesis. And you can kind of see the planet of Amphorius in the galaxy in the background. This is interesting, actually. That could have some lore, like some story and lore implications. Or then Cipher stealing our things, of course. And then the title card.
I need a bigger bed next time.
Oh, this is her own inventory. Huh, okay.
Too bad.
I love that Mighty just he just plucks her out of the air. Aglaya's smile. She's loving this. You know she's loving this. Look how smug Aglaya is. And Mighty is like, I gotta do this shit again. Also, listen to her voice. Listen to Cipher's voice acting here. The way she grunts, it's amazing.
I need a bigger bed next time. Too bad. Cipher.
Great trailer. Something that I haven't talked about too much. There we go. Something that I spoke about it somewhat. during one of our story recap sessions. I think in 3.1, because that was the one that was more mighty focused than anything. Something that I really like about Infurious that I don't think gets talked about a lot is the dynamic between Aglaya and Mighty. I actually think it's a really fun dynamic and really likable. I'm actually a bit surprised people don't ship Mighty and Aglaya more. I get it, right? Because Aglaya is actually usually now shipped with her or in Exagris, right? Those are Aglaya's two main ships, and then Mighty's ship is obviously Finon, right? That is just clear as day. But I do think there's a little bit of ship bait between Mighty and Aglaya. I think Mighty really respects Aglaya as a leader, as a Chrysos heir, and vice versa. Aglaya respects Mighty as a warrior, a Chrysos heir, and someone who, unlike Finon, he eventually she I think Aglaya trusted Mighty to get his shit together, and he did so very quickly. So it's a good dynamic. I actually really like their dynamic. It kind of does feel like at times Mighty is Aglaya's like almost like right hand man, like his or like her most trusted Chrysos heir. Um either him or Casterus, right? Because Tribby to me is Aglaya's mentor, right? They're more equals. But yeah, fantastic trailer. Just really, really fun. 10 out of 10 would smash Cipher. Okay. Very nice. So we're gonna go ahead and stop there. We're a few minutes away from actually 40-minute stream, so a bit longer than what I thought it was gonna be. Because I just ranted about character trailers for like 20 minutes. Sorry about that. Um Actually, sorry, not sorry. I love talking about Star Rail and just ranting about it. But so if there is another Cipher trailer, we're gonna do something like this again, like just another short stream tomorrow or Wednesday, whenever it comes out. If there's not another Cipher trailer, then what that likely means is we're gonna have pretty much 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks of uninterrupted, just Zenless content. I would like to do as many Zenless streams as possible. There's a chance we do one tomorrow, and we're just gonna it's gonna be the same thing that we've been doing for each of our kind of Zenless streams, where we just jump in and we just grind. We just play the game, whether we do story, side quests, um, farming for mats and resources. Just gonna be. I just want to play Zenless more and more and more. Zenless is still in my mind the game that I'm passionate about at the moment, and it has not stopped. And it's been like this for a few months now, and so I want to play as much as possible, especially now that we have Yishuan. Jufufu is right around the corner, right? So yeah. Next stream will be Zenless, and it's going to be Zenless for a while, unless there's another just Star Rail trailer out of nowhere. And you can expect the next stream to be sometime this week, maybe tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, maybe Thursday. Who knows? But it'll be in the next coming days. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Super fun stream. Shorter on the shorter end. Cypher's trailer, very fun, as everyone said it would be. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night, good evening, good afternoon, and peace late, guys.